Good evening and welcome to another session of the Chaosium House RuneQuest campaign, The Adventures of the White Bull. We're going to just dive right in because last week we had the big traumatic and dramatic climax of the Lightbringers quest that Prince Keller Starbrow had. And if I can remember, Garen, you want to kind of describe the scene here of how this all ended up?
Well, the bit I remember is I wounded God.
Yes.
Something may have happened.
That happened too. Yes, that happened too.
I believe you lost an arm,
didn't you? Details. I wounded a god.
Yeah, and by ironically, it was Colbrast who stuck the arm on again, which is pretty weird.
Does that mean it's backwards?
Yeah, probably.
You get the wrong arm on?
Yeah, I might have. Sort of.
What wasn't that? Wasn't that? Forgive the aside. Wasn't that Bill the Galactic Hero from Heinlein, who got the arms on backwards?
I've not read that one.
I seriously.
Does anybody remember Bill the Galactic Hero?
Nope. Yeah, you sure it was Heinlein? I can't remember.
I thought it was Heinlein. Maybe it was.
He should be. He should be fine.
It was funny. Anyways, so the immediate narrow range consequences of this is that you all were involved in an epic battle in the royal palace near the Flame of Sartar, where Jariel, the incarnation of the Red Goddess, showed up, managed to manifest herself in your ceremony and killed, I think she killed a lot of people, if I remember. Is that what you remember, Colbrest?
Yes.
I danced with her.
Yes. And thanks in part to the folk that managed to actually cause her to bleed. And Gina, who managed to get her to dance out of step, you were able to dispel the manifestation before she killed everybody. This is an impressive deed. This is a genuinely heroic deed, and I think the way Garen put it is absolutely right. You all did manage to wound a goddess. And that is pretty damn awesome. So one of the things that comes out of this all occurred while your characters were half in this world and half in the other world, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so this is one of the rare opportunities for you all to try to, or not try, where you can spend some of your power to try to create a what we're currently calling in the rules a hero soul. This is a part of your character that exists eternally in the other world. This is the immortal part of your character that will be remembered in 1,000 years in Songed's story. It's not going to start out as very much. You're basically right now, you're a footnote in somebody else's story. I would say your character is kind of a footnote in Keller Starbrow's heroic saga. But as you continue to do impressive deeds, you may end up, this hero self of yours may end up becoming more impressive than your actual character. And be something that is effectively immortal, and future generations may make little shrines to and sacrifice to it and whatnot. But like all things, you all will start small. So I'm going to give, the way this works is you have to sacrifice permanent points of power for this. And it's kind of similar to your fetch in Kala, just to make this maddening, but it's not your fetch. It doesn't get to help your fetch. You sacrifice permanent points of power, And that those points of power exist in the other world.
Stop. What is the advantage for me right now?
Well, I'm going to tell you. Okay, a couple advantages is that I'm going to tell you some potential spells that you may be able to get as a result of your actions on this hero quest. In order to use those spells, you need to spend these points of power that you have in the other world. They're not going to be powered by your rune points. They're not powered by magic points. They're powered only by these hero points. Forgive all the players that used to play Hero Quest and whatnot. They're not the same thing, but they're hero points. They're like rune points, but the rune points for powering your heroic self.
Yeah,
So
I do seem to remember Kalia using some of those.
Yes, she used a lot of them because she got pissed off at you and didn't have them available to fight Jariel.
How does it help me in my afterlife?
Well, first off, you have a guaranteed you exist in the other world, in the God's world, forever, which is which is awesome.
No,
you're a hero.
because I will sit on the table of my goddess when I'm dead. So what is better than that?
You get fed as she does, as opposed to making sure you're
okay. How many points do you
Don't get the scrap.
That's
from
the
table.
other thing about this is that in order to get, if you spend these hero points, they can come back like rune points, but not through worshiping your god. You basically
worshiping me?
You basically have to get people to worship and celebrate the deed that got you those hero points. At a certain point, you want to convince people to start worshiping you.
Do birthday parties count for the first sort of few points?
Well, not really.
I'm not that likable of a character.
Then maybe you need to try.
No, there's another piece. You can also think of people appropriating you because they're scared of you.
For instance, one of the people that gets the most worship in all of Glorantha right now is Herrick the Berserk. Most of that isn't, I want to be just like you, Herrick, you're so swell. It's, please, oh gods, keep Herrick away from our village.
Is it also
Does it
okay if
work?
ghosts worship me?
What?
Would it also be okay if ghosts worship me?
If you can manage to summon them, bind them, set them all up, yeah. That would be a great way to create a hero cult.
Okay.
It's a lot of work, though. You might want to have a constant place of being. I hear you have a downstairs apartment in Pavis.
Yep.
That might
There's
be
a
easier.
shrine.
All right, so let me first tell you what the various things are available as potential hero powers based on your deeds. And then I'm going to let you guys make the decision of how many power points you want to sacrifice for this. And the power points, again, it works a lot like a fetch. So what you would do is, Gina, what's your power?
17. So that's a problem. I think it's some kind of a threshold thingy.
Oh, probably is. Let's say that you decide to sacrifice 3 points of power.
3 points?
Let's just say that for the point purposes. That means your personal power goes down to 14. Now, the cool thing is that just like with the fetch, you get to add those points. You keep those points for spell resistance purposes. But the downside of it, as Linda can certainly speak to, is you don't have those magic points available for you. You don't have those magic points. I don't believe you have those magic points available for trying to overcome somebody else's power. It's just defensive, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we may have. Yeah.
So the point is that you only partially get rid of them. They're more useful than rune points in that regard. The other thing is hero points can power your heroic abilities, which we're going to talk about, and they can also power your existing rune spells.
So I can actually use them for my rune spells?
Yes, but how many rune points do you currently have?
I have in the moment 4 rune points.
Okay, so let's say you put three on this into your for hero points. That's awesome, but it means theoretically you have 7 points available for rune spells, but you only have 3 points available for heroic things that you've gained through hero questing. So it doesn't work both ways. Does this all make sense?
No. So I'm sorry, okay, this is a way to sacrifice and to increase my number of rune points, but they do not regenerate easier than before.
But
If you're just doing rune spells, it probably doesn't make sense. You're right. If you want to be able to also leverage it for hero points, for other different powers that you don't normally ever get, then it makes then it's a good
okay.
thing
What
to
are
do.
the hero point powers?
That's what I was going to get to.
That's what I'm going to get to. So on
Yours is magic
this
dance.
one,
What's the deal? Yeah.
so
I can already dance like a goddess, so.
And we're going to be a little bit flexible on this. So one of the things about how these work in the game is they're like rune spells, but they can be much more varied than the rune spells that are currently in existence. And they're a way that we can introduce rune spells that aren't in the Red Book of Magic, but make absolute perfect sense based on the cool things that the players have done. So first off, everybody who went on that underworld quest, and that's all of you guys. That also includes you, Nisk. You wandered through the underworld to a great extent, following spirits, learning about the dead and the entities within there. All of you, in theory, can learn the 2-point spell, but only as a heroic ability. It's a 2-point spell, summon specific spirit. What that means is that if you know the name of a dead person, somebody who should be in the underworld, you have the ability to summon that specific spirit. Whether that spirit is going to be friendly to you or not, it is not a part of this spell. Theoretically, Gina and Inkala, I believe, both would have abilities to be able to deal with that. But they're not undead, Garen.
What is the difference between ghost and spirit?
Okay, a ghost is a spirit that is bound in one way or another to this world.
So if I say command, I cannot. If I summon its spirit, I cannot command him with command
then you would
ghost.
be able to command it with your command ghost while it's manifest here. Now, if it's a really powerful spirit, that may be really stupid to try to do.
Why?
Because you still have to overcome its power.
There was a problem.
And your power will be slightly lower than it's now.
Yeah, but it'll go back up. Now you can augment that with meditation and ritual and dancing and all sorts of ways to increase your chance of doing that. So it's possible to do it. But, if you want to say, I'm going to summon the ghost of Great King Hoozy Hoot, be aware that Great King Hoozy Hoot might be very, very powerful and difficult to be able to command. On the other hand, I want to command the ghost of Howard the Duck. You might be able to pull that off pretty easily.
Why should I want that?
I don't know. Maybe Howard the Duck knows something. But this allows you to summon a specific spirit, the spirit of a specific dead person.
An old queen, an ancestor, a great warrior.
Yep.
like that.
It's functionally the same thing as the Daka Fall spell, summon specific ancestor, but this person does not have to be an ancestor of yours. You could summon a dead lunar.
Or yeah.
Okay. And the reason is you guided all of these dead people through the path of the dead. You have a connection with the path of the dead. You need to know their name. You need to know enough about them to be able to persuade me as the GM that you're able to reach down into the underworld and call forth that spirit. But it's a potentially really cool spell. It's a 2-point spell. Okay, it does not exist in any write-up. It's a unique spell. You can only gain this through hero questing. No cult teaches this, at least not yet. Okay, that's a pretty nice spell.
So what you're saying is another way of getting people to worship you is have cool stuff to teach them, which they can't learn anywhere else. Oh.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is how cults change and develop. The other spell that I'm going to throw out is way more limited, and that is hands up who actually drew blood against Jariel.
Does Zottinger
damaged
damaged her? Yes. I don't know if it was blood because it was the lightning.
Zotting her counts.
All right.
Anything that basically showed. No, Claudia, you also got it. You and Colbrast get a different specific. So there is another 2-point spell that you could potentially gain through this. Now, keep in mind, I keep calling these 2-point spells. That means it costs a minimum of 2 hero points to activate this spell. And this spell is called Cancel Glow Spot.
Oh, beautiful.
And this means that you can you're able to give a weakness to the lunars. Now, the lunars, normally someone like Jariel, it is always the full moon around her. Always. All lunars around her always operate as if it is full moon, even if it's the black moon, because she's a glow spot.
So their spells are better. Basically,
their spells are
let's go with
50% better than yours around her. Well, Cancel Glow Spot does exactly what it sounds like. It cancels out the effect of a glow spot within 20 meters of a 20-meter radius of wherever the spell is cast. And it cancels out the glow line in that area. Now, does that make sense? Do I have to give a little Gloranthan lore of what that means? I can see Linda is like, I want that spell.
Well,
Philip, do you and Gina, do you guys understand the consequences of that? Maybe Neil, you can talk that through in RuneQuest rules.
Yeah, well, basically, the Lunar Empire is surrounded by the glow line, and they were trying to extend the glow line when they were building the temple of the Reaching Moon, that the dragon went up and ate. That's what the ritual they're trying to do, because basically in the Lunar Empire, their magic is always better than everybody else's. One of the reasons the Lunars keep control over it. By having this ability, you can basically say, no, you just have to go to the regular phase of the moon or whatever it means. So it's really good for facing things. And the other big one is the Crimson Bat is also a traveling glow spot. So this would basically give a lot of chance to basically reduce that as well. Hopefully you don't have to phase them. So that's really what the spell is good for. So it really makes you a far better lunar fighter.
But what was that about canceling the glow line? I didn't get.
So the glow line is basically the magical temples extend a certain powered aura by all their sacrifice, and they tried to build the temple in Sartre that would extend it. So all of a sudden, had that worked, then all of Sartre would have been under the glow line. So the lunars would have been a lot more powerful. So instead of being eaten and then, Cal were able to go and work with everybody and free up, it would have really locked it down. It would be a lot more like Tarsh, Lunar Tarsh.
Mhm.
So within the glow line, all right, so outside of the glow line, on 2 days of the week are the black moon days, the dying moon and the black moon day. And on those days, lunar magic doesn't work at all. In the glow line, it's fine there. The moon is always at least half full inside the glow line. But with this spell, within a 20-meter radius of the spell, it's the normal cycle. And
Mhm.
it may not sound powerful, but the lunars are very used to the assumption that within the areas that they've set up, their magic is not subject to their own cycle.
Hmm.
So, and I see Linda seems to be having a almost vicious smile in appreciation of this.
Well, yes, I can see
This
it
is
being very useful indeed.
Linda loves lunars, but Carla does not. So, yeah.
the last thing is I would let Colbrast learn a spell if he wants to sacrifice for hero points, a spell from the Trickster cult. So not an Orlanth spell.
Yeah, I would have to have a look at those. Yeah, that sounds good.
And I'd be pretty relaxed about it. I would let it be any reasonable trickster spell along the lines of the stuff that you brought in, and it would be powered by your hero points as opposed to you actually having to be a member of the trickster cult.
Which is a good thing, because I would have to start killing people.
We need to have a super short break.
Okay, very short.
We're back.
Okay, so with that, the final last one is available only for Gina. And that's because of all of her dancing. And this would be, Gina, you have Harmony as a rune, don't you? You may need to turn on your...
yes, I have Harmony, and I have it on
yes.
85%.
So what this one would be is the spell Harmonize. Now let me tell you how Harmonize is an obnoxious spell. But it's a 1-point spell. It requires you to overcome the target's power, but it locks them in a dance with you. They will dance with you exactly. It only works on beings with the same hit locations as you, so obviously you can't try to harmonize with a horse. But it does force people to be locked into a dance with you if you overcome the
Can
power.
I dance them to death?
Theoretically.
Cool.
Now,
You
on
could
the other
definitely
hand,
do
if
things that so they can't fight. That's
now the problem is if they're injured, you feel the pain too.
Why?
That's how the spell works.
Well, that's a stupid spell.
It's pretty darned useful. I believe that's designed. I think that's a Greg and Steve effort to make sure people don't abuse the spell exactly the way that you want to abuse it.
It sounds a bit like it.
But I mean, I'm just reminded on Snow White, you know, in the end where the stepmother got the hot glowing shoes to dance to death.
You know, that's your version of Snow White. Our version does not have dancing shoes of death.
No?
No.
How boring.
No. That is you growing up with cruel German, East German Marchen series.
It has nothing to do with East German. This is the classics.
Anyways, so what I want to know is who's going to sacrifice, and I want to know which heroic abilities. And what you're going to do is you're going to write. I will send around a little hero sheet. I should have done it already, but I didn't. And it's a hero sheet. And what it is how many points of power, how many hero points do you have with your hero soul? And what abilities are you able to use with that, with your hero soul? And how much do they cost? So, yes, sir.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, how do we replenish hero points?
Now that's the tough thing. They replenish the same way as the rune points, but you, or at least the heroic you, needs to be what's worshipped. So the easiest way is for you to go in and try to persuade your temple to include your deeds as part of your cult. In other words, turning you into a subcult hero of your local temple.
Could we use dolls of ourselves?
That was to get magic points replenished. No, power points replenished, right? That they.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a way of making sure that you don't have to physically be present once you've managed to convince all the Humoct temples in Dragon Pass to have a little shrine to Garen Grimseeming, hero of Humoct. That's certainly a way to make that maximize for you. But right now, what you need to do is for you to be able to popularize your deeds in such a manner that people are willing to sacrifice magic points to you and have a worship ceremony about the deeds of Garen Grimseeming. Now, the reason I say it's way easier to do this as part of your temple is it's a lot easier to convince your fellow worshipers to worship the deeds that you have done in Humoct's honor and whatnot than to get a whole bunch of people to just worship Garen.
True. Right. Well, I'm definitely going to be sacrificing some power.
But yes, it is a pain, especially at the early stages of a heroic career. It's quite difficult to get these back. If you've noticed, Argrath gets, you guys are worshiping the white bull all the time. What do you think the white
points for that?
Who do you think gets those points?
Now you mention it.
You guys set up independently in your own right a temple to Argrath. That's how it goes when you start getting this machine rolling. That's what we want to have is NPCs.
Oh my God, it's Amway.
It is. It's Amway. It's totally.
Yeah, we should consecrate that temple, I think.
If anybody is familiar with the old BBC show, I, Claudius, there's one of the wonderful bits is Augustus Octavian, played by Brian Blessed in, I'm going to be a heretic here, it's still his best role, even better than the Hawk Lord. But in this, Brian Blessed gets this notification that a community in Asia Minor has just set up a statue of him as a god. And he goes on a rant about, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be able to make the weather better there? How do I do this? they're offering pigs and sheep to me in Asia Minor. Well, how do I know anything about the weather? But you guys want to be in that place. But
I don't want to, having sheep.
I'm wondering if we could set up a kind of little temple of us as a group.
Yeah. And we can pay people and pay their little doll things and put it into our temple.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is a thing.
Automatic.
Oh.
These are all things I want you guys to be thinking about. Kalar Starbrow does this. Kalar Starbrow has managed to, and this is how figures that manage to make themselves these larger than life figures that people invoke and call upon or whatnot. That's in game mechanics, how that rewards setting up these sort of charismatic, heroic cults. And
I thought always this had to do with reputation.
Reputation just means you're well known. It makes it easier to get people to do this for you with a high reputation.
I just see this as has to be, of course they have to worship me. Now this is the second like avatar or representation of a god that we fought.
Yeah.
Both are chaos.
And you're
So like
still alive.
why
Which is
and why wouldn't
astonishing.
Stormbull wanna let me be part of a worship? I mean,
Absolutely. I
yeah.
don't want you guys to be thinking about this in a bad, cynical way.
No, this is
I want to
awesome.
think about it in a bad, cynical way.
But
Yeah,
but
so
getting these things makes me able to fight more lunar nasty chaos. So it's like, why not?
So what I want you to do is let's just kind of go around. How many points of power are you going to sacrifice to this? And let's start with Nisk.
2 for the cancel glow spot.
Okay, so would you write that down on your character sheet?
Yeah,
Knock your
lower my
power down
power.
by 2.
Ouch.
Let's go to Rich.
I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna go 5 points.
Wow.
And I'm gonna take cancel glow spot, and I am going to just keep that with. Do I knock it up to 6? Well, I've got 3 uses of cancel glow spot.
Difficult decision.
Okay, I'm gonna go 6 points, and I'll just take.
What does that put your power down to?
It takes me down to 10.
Okay. So you really have very little ability, but defensively it doesn't damage you. It just means offensively it's very hard for you to overcome somebody's power.
But I'm not doing huge numbers. I'm not, most of my spells are augments for me before I go fighting. So it's not a huge loss. I've not used. I put quite, I've made sure I had quite a high power. I've not used a huge deal. So this is.
Do you now have more hero points than you have rune points?
Yes.
Wow.
Double, in fact. I have 3 rune points and now I have 6 hero points.
Oh, very nice.
So you're much more imagining that you want to be recognized as a avatar of who?
I think that's what I'm going for now. Yeah.
Excellent. How about you, Ankala?
2 points for the cancel goal line. And I am writing it now. Yeah.
What does that bring your power down
11.
to? Okay.
I do suck.
And you do use a lot of overcome people's power spells.
Yes, so it's kind of not really good, but this is better. So.
Gina.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, this is a big question. Where are the cuts when things get bad? In the moment, I have a power of 17, as I remember it. This was actually getting me over a certain threshold, but I do not remember what it was.
17 gives you plus 10 to a lot of abilities, or plus 5 depends on the one, and 13 is the next break point. So Garen, for example, went down below that. He won't get any bonus for a high power in anything.
So this means I have which are the skills for where I get actually the bonus? Because otherwise I would have to change my character sheet, which I'm not looking forward to.
Well, eventually it's all going to be on the computer and you're just going to be able to click a button.
Thank you. You're promising me that for a while now. So, you know how I am with these things. I hate character sheets. You see how they look like here, yeah? There's a lot of notes. And
Claudia, I believe your long-suffering husband will be able to be persuaded to do all of that typographical work.
Everybody heard that?
Yes,
I did it in the first place.
We are your witnesses, Claudia, forever.
But
Yes.
this means
But
all my magic skills go down 5%.
Yes.
Yep.
Ugh.
Until you get, but you also get a POW gain roll at the end of Sacred Time, so it has a chance to go up again.
What time of the year do we have?
It's Sacred Time.
Sacred Time.
Okay. So then I get only the 1 pointer, my Harmony Dance.
You're only going to spend one point of power?
I like to have a lot of power. Actually, what was the
that's
other
fine.
one? The 2-pointer was the get a spirit out. No, I do not need that. The thing is, my idea is to put spirits to ghosts to rest and not get single ghosts out and put
Just
them
saying
out.
that would have been a cool ability for anybody who wanted to, but it doesn't appear that anybody wants to get that ability.
And Carla can have it.
Yeah, maybe next time, but I am so low on power. That's my problem.
I hate to say it, in Kala, you have to do this quest over again.
Oh.
Well, we know how it works now, so.
I want to ask the group: is there any spirit you want to talk to?
Not
Especially
now.
when
There
they're
could be
not
great
friendly.
heroes. Imagine summoning Vinkat, the founder of the Vinkat.
Yeah, but if he's not happy with us,
he's our ancestor. Why wouldn't he be happy?
Yeah.
point is, I don't know how much he got fed on Tychoros Tech's table. This is always a problem, you know. Can I add a point and get be fed before they come to me, so that they're in good mojo, a spirit in good spirit?
No, because you didn't do anything on this quest that was about feeding spirits.
You only always told them.
You were actually kind of a jerk to a lot of the spirits.
You promised them a lot of food, but they never got any.
I showed them the direction. I did.
I'm so tempted to take the last one, but it'll drop me down to 9 power, and that's kind of that's below acceptable.
A shaman with a 9 power.
Okay, I take the bow, so that we have it in the group. This means I have only a power of 14.
Down 3. Yeah. 14.
Which means you would still have the highest power in the group. You know that.
By a long shot.
And by the way, people that are watching, this is one of the things is these characters are all high skilled, lots of points of power, etc., or lots of rune points and even hero points. How good is your power currently?
So just to tell me, what was it? Harmonize and
summon specific
spirit. Works just like summon specific ancestor from Deck of Fall, except it doesn't have to be an ancestor.
And how many hero points do I have right now?
3, it sounds like. You know, only in RuneQuest. Hey, here's your chance to get like way cool new powers, but I have to give up something.
Never get completely bloated in RuneQuest. It's like everything has a cost.
Everything has a cost. All right, so with that, you guys, I'm going to let you guys make these sacrifices, and this is stuff. This is
Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Like to
finally you. Yeah,
Cobra. Yeah.
Yes, I apologize. How awful.
Yeah, I think
off camera we talked the most with Cobra. So.
Yeah, that's what you always. Anyway, yes, I'm going to sacrifice 4 points.
Wow. What are you going for?
My power will temporarily go down to 8 points, but I don't need power. At least not offensive power, so it doesn't matter. And I will choose group laughter as a special hero ability.
And I believe that's a 2-point spell.
That's a 1 point spell.
Oh, and you can do it 4 times, you can do it.
You can stack it. So I could go up to 50 meters radius, so 100-meter diameter of solid laughter. As a maximum of the spell. And it's also a spell that is not resistible. So I don't have to overcome someone's power to make them laugh.
That is awesome and terrifying.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to using it.
All right. So
a second. Does that mean that could he really get this and the glow line spell? And
no, I can't get the glow line.
No.
I can't.
No, well,
you could get the summon spirit one too if you wanted. Because you're already sacrificing enough points, even if you don't use it.
Yeah.
Don't have to, though.
Do you want to get the summon specific spirit, Philip? You don't have to. If it doesn't sound like your character's thing.
Well, it doesn't really change anything. In a sense, I mean, it somehow, I mean, I give money to spirits, but I don't really summon them.
I mean, you spend a lot of time talking to
That's
spirits
true.
and dead
Yeah,
people.
that's
You
true.
met a lot of them. You actually
Yeah.
befriended a lot of them.
That's
And
true.
all this would be is a way of saying that you could pull them back from the other world to talk with them or to try to get them to do things as spirits for you.
Yeah, okay.
If you want that. It makes your character interesting.
Yeah.
I believe
it's like,
Gina also took this as well.
What?
The summon specific spirit.
Yes.
Go
Summon specific spirit and the Harmonize.
so we
Okay.
can have.
You talked me into
picnic.
that.
We can have picnic with summon spirits.
Yes, let's see which one we choose.
Yeah.
Now, so for those of you all who are watching this, so through hero questing, it's possible for the characters to get magic that does not belong to their cult. And normally you would never associate with their cults or their actions. It's also possible to get more powerful versions of existing spells. And I thought about making that available to Nisk for the lightning, but I'm not going to do that.
Which one? Oh, a more powerful lightning?
Yeah, because I don't think that was really the deal. I think the deal was that you drew blood against Jario. You damaged
It was
her.
also using an item. I wasn't
Yeah.
that wasn't my personal lightning spell, so that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I've already got lightning, but regular lightning.
So what this is a way, so hero questing gives your players the ability to get spells you normally shouldn't be able to get unique spells, or to get more powerful or longer duration versions of your existing spells. And I from the hero quest that you guys did, this is how I want I want it to work out. But every hero quest can end up with different rewards, which is why you want a hero quest a lot, because that's your way of getting very cool, interesting, and greater powers. Effectively, this is all in place now. You know, you don't have to do a special ritual for this. This is just the byproduct of that. Yes, Linda. We can't hear you.
The weapons that drew blood, does anything happen to them? Like sometimes items can be affected in.
We will see on that. What do you think? How do you treat that weapon? A lot of it comes down to.
I treat it so well. I'm loving it. I'm scraping the blood off, having it in a small vial around my neck, and it's like, yeah, this weapon drew blood from the Red Goddess.
I'm going to scrape the blood off as well. But I'm going to donate it to the Humak Temple, and in the hope they can use it to set up a small shrine for me. To my deeds.
To you, so this is, you know, the guy who's the head of the temple.
Yes, and in fact, we dueled. Oh, sparred rather.
You sparred.
And obviously, his training and insights were invaluable in my duel with the Chaos Goddess herself.
So before we jump into setting up the cults, I think that basically what we have is, this is what you guys have set up is, this is your personal magical benefits from this hero quest. Now, the key thing about this is that your characters in the other world scarred the Red Goddess. You were part of the scarring of the Red Goddess. And there's some part of you that is always scarring the Red Goddess. Those of you all who did this. Always. Now, it's also possible that the Lunars will be able to find you through this, because there's some part of you that's always there fighting the Red Goddess.
And they did get our names, at least a few of us.
And yeah, and the Lunar that you did scar, is no small potatoes within the Lunar Empire. I believe in the board game, she is called a superhero. So, you know, that this may go both ways. Additionally, there's some part of you that's always tied to the underworld. For all of your characters, there's some part of you that is always there, and you guys want to think about what that means for your characters. I mean, Gina, that's no big deal. She's always been tied to the underworld, but all of your characters have some part of you that's always there walking the paths of the dead.
For Nisk, it's not as much the dead, and it's actually darkness specifically. He cloaked himself in darkness for the entire hero quest. That's why nobody saw him. He communed with darkness spirits and negotiated with them and such things. So he's more of darkness than underworld, if that makes sense. I mean,
oh, absolutely. In fact, I toyed around with the idea as an alternate of Nisk being able to get summon small shade, but I thought, you know, I don't want Neil to have to sacrifice all of his points of power. That would suck.
I walked around as the judge the entire part of it. So there is a part of me down there walking with a mirrored mask, judging the dead.
Exactly. And I want you guys to think about this is, I believe most of you all got a experience check for a rune.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just going to say right now, Nisk, I know you got a hike on your darkness rune already. You got an experience check in it. Garen, you got an experience check in death. In Kala, you got an experience check in death. Gina, you got an experience check in death. In Colbrast, you got an experience check in, was it disorder?
Fire.
In fire, of course.
Yeah, because I intentionally didn't. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it was in fire.
When
Yes,
do we roll them? Jeff, when
what
do
was
we
that?
roll them? Because I have so
in just
many
a moment.
Because I have so many open experience checks.
Yes.
Question. I resisted that Starbrow spell, like critted it. Does that do anything?
Yeah, you get a power gain check.
Yeah, well, I already had that like 1,000 times. So.
You didn't get fried in Kala. I think that counts as
know.
something. That does count for something.
Yeah.
All right.
And neither did I, actually. I didn't crit it, but it was just lucky. I think she fumbled or something.
Yes, you overcame the person that had offensively like a 28 power or 30 power or something absurd like that. And you did fine. So with that, what I want to do is let you guys know, why don't we make skill checks and experience checks and let you guys do all of that. And I'm going to, while you guys are going through and making all of that, I'll let you, we'll also fill in, there are, you know, as the year 1626 begins and you've performed the sacred time, it's safe to say that this hero quest was not viewed as a success for Keller Starbrow, to put it mildly. Many of her chief supporters and allies were killed by Jar-Eel and were not resurrected. There was just not there was not enough healing magic there to be able to do the rune points to heal the people that needed to be healed and start doing those big, heavy resurrect spells. So in short, Kaller is most of her council around her, and certainly amongst her most competent people, are dead. Yes, Linda. We can't hear you.
I'm listening and rolling. So just.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were raising your hand.
I was cheering silently. Sorry.
All right. So one question you guys are going to have as you do this is, how long do you want to stay in Boldhome?
As long as we can milk the fame, I reckon.
Well, keep in mind.
Fame or infamy?
Well, I mean, we saved Calais' life pretty much. I think after she had been pretty abrupt and unpleasant to us, I think I would recommend we kind of walk around looking very, very humble and self-effacing, and not really wanting to, talk too much about the thing we did or the fact that we'd done this after being so shabbily treated.
And this raises a question. How do you want to get that out? So do you want to be humble and self-effacing and hire a bunch of poets to emphasize how much you are humble and self-effacing?
I think we've got, this is pretty much Culbrast's area, I would think.
Well, exactly. I think it is.
It is? Why that? I have no truck with such things.
You don't forget you are, and specifically two people in the group. I'm gonna point out Culbrast and Kala specifically. Garen, your tests were not that insulting to her, except you made her promise not to use her sword. So she's a bit probably upset about that. Me, she can be angry with, but actually I gave her a sword to fight the Red Goddess, my sword. So I took my weapon to do her. I also did her another favor earlier, whether she respects that or not. But in Kala and definitely Colbas, you're going to be blamed for the shield. So, and in Kala, same for yours and all the laughing. She's not a person who forgets that. So we can talk about how good we are and how much we helped, but I think she's going to find that you're going to find that she's going to be extremely angry. And we know that she is a person with a temper, and they may blame us for her using her magic or for failing the ritual, even though what we really did was to basically help her and protect her with it. That's not how they're going to think of it. That's not, they're not, if they get to write the history, you're not going to come up well.
Yeah, so we definitely need to hire some poets. And I think I also have another talk with Chipmunk Bing. I'm sure he's very interested how this all went.
Oh, Chipmunk Bing, I would say is decided Culbrast is a stand-up person. And he's got his own table in Joe's. They're in Joe's pocket in Boldhome. In Germany, this is called a Stammtisch. I don't know what the equivalent. I'm sure there's an English equivalent. In the US, it would mean you're just a regular.
Yeah, the regulars table.
They actually have little games on them. They'll have their name on the bar, and they'll have it and stuff, a little plaque.
Chipmunk Bing definitely has his own little place there at Joe's. And Culbrast, you are always invited, especially if you're paying. Always
I might
invited.
pay sometimes. I probably will pay a lot.
Well, you've got a lot more money than Chipmunk Bing.
I do, so it's only fair.
But he is pleased as a punch. He wants to know. He keeps asking you over and over again to tell the story of how you humiliated Keller Starbrow, the Prince of Sartar, in a Joe's Tavern, with an audience?
Yeah, well, I obviously tell him how we tested her to the best of our abilities, and which seemed to be, surprisingly
More than hers.
more than
hers.
Yes, in the end. So we couldn't know that,
So,
obviously.
So,
but I tell him the
Cobras,
story. But yeah.
Are you trying to soften the blow and tell it in a politically astute manner, or are you just telling it the way Chipmunk Bing wants to hear it?
I'm telling it the way he wants to hear it, but in a way that lets people who hear it sort of, decide for themselves if this is now really humiliation or if it just isn't that, Kalia just wasn't up to the task.
Ooh, either way, what's your, I would like you to roll against one of your communication skills, be it orate, intrigue.
Yeah. Well, if I talk in my own mother tongue, no one will know what I'm talking about, but I would have the chance of actually rolling a success. Okay, orate is 35.
And how good is your Soterite?
What? I don't
Soterite, Hjortling.
Just a second. No, I have trade talk, storm speech.
Trade talk. It's in trade talk.
That's 35 too.
Great. So the same ability as your orate.
Yep. But I could augment it, I guess, with the no, probably couldn't. Well, yeah, I think I'll just tell it the way he wants to hear it.
All right.
I mean, yeah, Cobras is not sophisticated enough to pull this off. That so he'll just get drawn into Chipmunk's enthusiasm and tell him the story of how he almost got fried like a potato but didn't.
Because her magic didn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine that,
So the story that's getting out through Joe's and through the clown societies.
Sorry, guys. Pack your bags.
All right. The clown societies are mocking Kalar Starbrow mercilessly. Now, do you all know what a clown society is in Gloranthan? That's the Irmal cult. As long as they are garbed up as Irmale, wearing the sacred face paint and the goofy garb and whatnot, they are immune from their actions because they're being sacred people. But that doesn't mean their jokes are any more appreciated. And they are telling stories about Kalar Starbrow that could only have come from somebody that was actually there in the hero quest. How her magic failed. How the Starbrow itself was little more than a candle.
Small candle.
A small candle.
Like ass light.
Yes, like an ass light.
Is that? Yeah.
And there's even a clown performance of them and one of the female clowns sitting around garbed up as Kalar Starbrow, putting a candle on her butt and waving that around as her Starbrow. I mean, just humiliating stuff here. And
so you want to stay here to get your training with your shield spear thing, or do you want to leave? I'm just asking you.
It's my lot to never get actually trained with the damn thing.
There's like clown performances. There's clown performances of this, and the clowns think, and thanks to Chipmunk Bing, every clown. And Boldholm has hundreds of clowns. There is actually a full-fledged temple of Irmal here in Boldholm. It's like one of the only significant temples to Irmal that is in the open and admitted. And there are hundreds of clowns in the city. And when I say clowns, I don't mean, you know, circus folk, but if anybody's familiar with the clown societies of the American Indians, like the Hopi clown societies or the Plains Indian clown societies, these are sacred people that everybody knows they have powerful magic. They are totally antisocial, and they are allowed religiously, they are allowed to mock the hell out of the powerful and the important. But it's clear that their stories came from somebody involved in the hero quest.
How many of her companions actually survived? I mean, it could have been one of them.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah, right.
But it seems to, a lot of this seems to focus on her challenges to enter the realm of the dead.
Mm.
So you guys can kind of think of what you want your how long you want to stay in Boldholm. But the clowns are humiliating her. And there is growing anger amongst the tribes, because the tribes put a lot of resources, a lot of support, and didn't do a lot of other things in order to support this Lightbringer's quest. And this Lightbringer's quest is now something that clown societies are mocking.
A question. Before, you know, it does take at least a few hours before this happens.
Oh, days. This is days.
Because I want to do what Garen did and go to my Stormbolt temple and tell the great deeds of Ankala, not mentioning Troublemaker, with Ragnaglar and now the Red Goddess and having her blood and all that. And I want to be worshipped as a chaos killer.
First off,
yeah.
And I want the same thing with Garen. I want you guys can't get away with a loyalty to your temple role, because you have no loyalty to this temple, right? Garen, do you have a loyalty to Sarastep, the Humakti?
No, possibly. Let me just double check. I don't think so, but I might have done. No.
Okay.
Nope.
So this is all going to be based on a devotee to your cult then here. How much are you be able to persuade this local temple that you are the total devotee of your god?
Could I get a bonus dice because of my relationship with Starrister?
What is a bonus dice, Rich?
Well, you know, I get to re-roll.
Someone has to say it. What is a bonus die?
Anyways, I'm willing to give you a bonus because of this, but not a bonus dice.
I've been playing a lot of Call of Cthulhu lately. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Nothing wrong with that. Fine game, that. I'll give you a plus 20 on your devotee, given the context, given how much you were Humocked. I mean, everything that you do ties into your role as Humocked on this quest. I'll give you a plus 20.
That is very good of you. Okay, that takes me to 94.
And you're going to screw it up because I know how you roll, Rich.
Don't say it.
Suppose you're playing devil's advocate.
14.
Okay, they are willing to set up at least a little image of Garen. Now what that means is is not that you're going to get regular replenishment of your points, but it's possible for you to be able to persuade the congregation of initiates at this temple, if you're at this temple, to worship those deeds. It's better than nothing, Garen.
It's certainly better than nothing. I will definitely take it.
Same thing with you and Kala, but maybe there's something Storm Bully in this, but you need to explain it to me because I don't remember it.
The Storm Bully thing is that when I faced the Red Goddess, I did use Impede Chaos while facing her, which is Storm Bull's spell. And I did face Chaos because I know Lunars are Chaos. And I want to kill all Lunars. And the ability that I got from this was to destroy the wording, cancel Glowline.
Okay, I want you to roll against your hate Lunar Empire.
Yes. Because I do hate Lunar Empire. No.
Okay, how is good is your devotee Stormbull?
60.
Okay, I want you to roll dice again.
Does not sound good.
That's why I'm... And it's the proper dice too.
Oh yeah, well, these are Q Workshop dice, which I recommend people purchase because they're awesome.
The D20s here are the best with the runes on.
They are the best.
Oh, they are gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's right, kids. Buy
and
your
hit
Q.
Location dice.
Is this a limited edition? Is that the limited edition one with 2 left legs?
Yeah, I'm just looking at. I think I have a 2 left leg one.
I have both of them.
Excellent. Because if you know your dice, you want the limited edition extra left leg.
That freaking left leg over and over. But we always do that even with the regular D20 though. So left leg, left arm.
This is a 2 left leggy one.
Exactly, it's the better one.
Left leg.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Worship dice. 004.
Wow.
Nice.
They set that up for you. Same deal as with Garen. So the question I have for the rest of the party, by the way, did you guys roll all your experience checks, POW game rolls, etc.?
Not the POW game.
What's the
POW game again? How do you roll the POW game? I keep forgetting. It's like your skill minus 21 minus your power.
You're a shaman. It's 28 minus your power, I think, or 24.
25 minus your power.
Oh, one of those.
Sorry, 24. 24. It's 3 points higher than normal. So 24 minus your current power.
I think it was
So
plus
for Claudia,
20%.
Yeah.
that's the same thing.
I think it was a plus 20%.
24?
Oh, sorry, you're a shaman.
No,
it's a
for
plus
her.
20 onto it.
Yeah.
So it's
So plus 25.
So Claudia, yours is basically your current power is what?
My current power is 14.
Okay, so you take 21, which is the species maximum, minus 14 is 7. You have a 35% chance.
To raise my power runes.
And if you succeed, then you roll a d6 and you roll a d3, and it's d3 minus 1, isn't it?
Yeah,
because I have darkness, harmony, and death to roll.
Oh,
Or you just
no.
pick
That's
one.
just for POW, Claudia. The other ones, you roll percent on. You have to roll over what they get, and if you succeed, then you get an increase of 3 or a d6.
So on my harmony, I have to roll over 35.
If your harmony is only 35, is it
No,
only 35?
my harmony is 85, but it's a power rune.
No. Sorry, let's go back again. The POW gain roll is 35% for you to get more power.
Oh, okay. So I have to roll over 35.
No, you have to roll under 35. You have a 35% chance to get your power back.
Same thing with you. What's your current power?
My power now is 10.
Yes, 12.
Okay, so it's going to go up. And I'm just going to give you the number
or
here.
1d3 minus 1.
So it can be 1 or 2 points or 0.
Or 0. So you
Yeah.
make that choice.
I take 1.
But it went up.
And say,
So I'm on 15 now is my power.
so am I.
It's not
So,
bad.
and now with my power runes and my elemental rune, I have to
You
roll
have to roll
over the...
over the
Over
number
the
you have.
runes.
Okay, I start with my darkness rune. Yes, I rolled a 94 and I have a 40. This means I get a d6.
Correct.
Yeah, I think it's a D6. Yeah.
It's a d6. Garen.
And I roll a 1. Yeah.
It's POW times what? Sorry.
Well,
What is your
what's
power currently?
10.
So you have it's 55%.
A 55% chance
55%
of going up.
chance.
And Philip has a 65% chance.
And I
Cool.
failed.
Harmony.
72.
Oh, I have an 85 and I rolled an 82, so nothing. And darkness. This will be tough because I have a 95 on darkness.
Yeah, I didn't make my air rune
Oh.
because of 95.
Let's try death.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, I'd be really shocked if your death rune went up higher.
Yeah, my darkness is a little bit sad. I rolled over, then I rolled a 1 with a d6. That was really anticlimactic. So, and the other stuff I can also roll, all the other checks.
All
I
the
have?
check skills. Yeah, you might have missed some of them before because we did it before Sacred Time as well. But you also
Yeah.
get, but these times when you roll on your skills, you basically you don't count your modifier, so you can either subtract or however you want to do it, roll and add your modifier.
Yeah, and then I get a d6 on it, or a d6 half. Do I get a full d6
For which?
of my regular skills?
You get a d6 minus 1, or
On my,
is it an automatic 2 or an automatic 3?
on my skills, Jeff.
It's a
Skills are
1d6 minus 1.
1 or 3 or 3. So it's always better to
Or
take 3.
So you take 3 points, unless you feel lucky.
What? As if I roll over, I can take 3 points? No, I have
You
to
can
roll.
add 3 points to that skill, like get 3 points better at dance. If you roll over.
Okay, whatever. I start with my right. Because I haven't rolled for a long time. 30, I rolled over, yes, so I get 3 points, yeah?
Or
Yep.
you can roll a d6 and subtract 1.
No, I take the 3.
You don't
But,
have to
the
tell us
thing
all
with
out
the
loud if you
bird
don't want.
and-
So anyways, while you guys are working on that, the really big thing
One question though,
that I
Jeff.
have is, yes, Phil.
Sorry, I gained 1 point in power. Does the defensive power now go up as well?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, so now
So
it's 913. Okay.
Yeah, so you're really hard to cast. You get better at defending, much better, easily.
You're really hard to cast spells on, Cobrast.
With 13.
It's just really
Well, you're
well
harder
because
than,
you get to add all.
that's with 13, Jeff. He
It's
has a 9 POW,
Oh,
and he
yeah,
gets to add
okay.
4. So
Sorry.
later it'll get better.
Yeah. It'll get better, I'm sure.
I'll cast mine too. Okay, I roll my D3 minus 3 in the white bolt channel.
D3 minus
Can I
3?
get it?
That's not very good.
No, minus 1, and I get a 1. Well, I get a 3, so I gain 1.
And another question, it doesn't matter this time because I would have done it both times, but do I roll the power check against my higher defensive power or
No.
against the lower active
No,
power?
only the lower one.
Yeah, only the active one.
So defensively, I'll have a much bigger chance than I would normally have to actually gain power points.
Yes.
Yes.
Or cast spells on people.
It's actually
So
yeah, if you want to mini-max things as a hero quester, you get yourself thrown in a position where people try to cast magic on you.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's more likely to happen.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's okay. Good.
Now that may not be the best tactic, but that is the best way to get your power, get those power gain checks.
But it also means that if you actually can sacrifice power for hero points, you should do it. Unless you depend on
unless you depend on offensive magic. Yeah.
Which goes against power.
Right, and then you get more chances. So you get more chances to increase your power if you're good with offensive magic. But if your power is too high, your chance of going up is low, right? So it's
okay.
Tends to self-regulate itself. All right, so you know where I want to have this is because it's kind of the wrap up of this whole season of activities that we had. It's the end of the year. Is going forward. It is very clear that there is a mixed attitude from the prince towards you all. She gives you gifts after this, and she gives you rich gifts. You did save her. I mean, it is known you fought ferociously and valiantly. And what I would like is everybody, your reputation is going to go up for what you did. And if you look on the what reputation goes up for, this is reputation going up in a really remarkable situation. So I'm trying to look at what the biggest reputation block is. She is not stinting to you all for the things that you have done. She makes it very clear to people that gives a tremendous. There is a big feast. You all get a position of honor in the feast. So what I would like is everybody, your reputation is automatically going to go up, and I'm going to make it go up 1d6 plus 3.
Wow.
They go up 9, Gina?
8.
How about you, Colbrest?
6.
It's a big increase for everybody, I think. How about you, Nkala?
I got an 8 too. So I have 22 to 30. That's a big increase.
Garen?
A 5. So that's taken me up to 42.
Wow.
I have only 38.
And Nisk?
Nisk got the same roll as Gina and went to the same number as Gina. So I got an 8, and then I went to also at 38.
Point is, you get a lot of reputation from this. I think these are all very, very big reputation bonuses for doing this for your characters.
Mm-hmm.
And you get very healthy, sizable gifts in terms of gold, trinkets, and those sorts of items from the prince.
I have a request.
Yes.
I do not want to have any gold. I want that they heal Orgor completely on the Shalana Roy temple.
You know, rather than resurrect somebody.
He's not dead.
No,
somebody else. I mean, rather than rescue one of her companions, you want them to
heal Orgor.
Yes,
because of the debt.
Poor Orgor, he'll have a bad conscience all his life. Someone died because of him.
Are you feeling better, Orgor? Now fix this hair.
By the way, did I mention you're healed and fixed? And oh, by the way, the competent person capable of running administration of the city is dead so that you could live.
Now fix my hair.
fix my hair.
Which is totally necessary because
Chop, chop.
Regina, if he
Chop,
dies,
chop.
you can always summon him back and ask him about how to do your hair. So you don't even need him alive anymore.
Yeah, but it cost me a little bit too many rune points because my hair needs to be fixed several times a day, you know, and the makeup needs to be adjusted. You know, you need a morning makeup and a morning hairstyle. You need a lunch hairstyle. You need maybe an afternoon hairstyle, an 11C's hairstyle. You know.
Yeah.
So the thing about this is you get lots of good gifts out of this, and there is and Kaller makes it clear that there is a debt that she owes you all. On the other hand,
What kind of a debt? What kind of a debt?
Well, you saved her life.
Debt or okay, good.
You saved her life.
Not the sort of I still owe you one sort of thing.
But there's also the bit that the longer you stay, obvious, the more people are going to go, well, the reason you saved her life was, didn't you create the situation in the first place?
Yeah, but she's fixing it now. Look at her being all
That's
generous.
not what we mean. You mean that
We didn't.
you basically
I know.
got 12 Thanes that are all dead. 13 now. 13 Thanes that are all dead, or heroes of Sarda that are dead.
We didn't cause anything. She was not capable.
So, as someone who's very familiar with orate versus logic, this is going to tell you that this is an emotional decision. You can argue your Humak, the logic, and the line all you want. That is not going to sway any of them. In fact, the more you argue it, the more it's going to piss off all of these hothead, very emotional, very aggressive, hey, I want to prove myself by seeing if I can thwack this Humakti dude or me. And so you got to look at how long do you want to stay here. We do have some people that I think are actually not as upset about this, that I would say that the Kalimar are not in the same way. The Maren Gore, they're both
the Shaker Priestess?
The Shaker Priestess. So we do have some allies. We've definitely separated that a lot.
But what do you recommend? Shall we leave?
I am not going to tell anyone what to do.
How nice is this necropolis here?
Well,
they don't really have one. Gotta be temple.
It's Tycor. There's there's an actual Tycor Tech holy site here.
Really? You said
unlike
I actually you said it's only a shrine in the Nalden temple. Last time.
Let me see what it says.
Last time, this is because I was actually really sad to sleep on the floor in front of the shrine in the Nalden temple, but now there's a Tycor.
Yeah, it's a shrine to Tycor Tech in the Ernalda temple, but it's an honest to God shrine that you can get magic back directly from, as opposed to just through Ernalda. It's a big Ernalda temple here. It's a
I like it here
to Ernalda. Yeah.
I want to go back with these new powers and get rid of whatever is holding that tower. Oh, Blind King's Castle.
Yeah, we do have some stuff to do at home. That's true.
I'm not done there.
Cobras, you wanted to get some training here.
Yeah.
Remember? Do you still want to do that? It sounds like Gina would like to stay.
I'm like the wind.
How long does this training take?
It would be a season.
Well, the question is, what do we do here other than train and go to the...
That is what you do here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind training here, obviously, but yeah, it's getting a bit unfriendly.
We need a new goal.
Well, we're going to go back to talk to Argrath, and there's going to be a lot happening. There's a lot of opportunities there.
And we have stuff to do at home. I mean, it's not as if we do actually want to go and clean up that tower.
There is an opportunity for Garen to train with Sarostep, maybe. I don't remember he was a big supporter of Kalir, but you did do the right thing for Humak, so he would be willing to do that still, I assume. So there is a benefit if you want to stay for a season and do it. Just be aware that you're not always going to be the most popular person, and you may need to defend yourself. And your times with Chipmunk Bing, you may find some big bully men outside the door on your way at home.
True.
Now you can make them all laugh if you like, so that could solve the problem.
Yeah, but not
The
too many
question
times.
I want to have, what question I have as a GM is, we have finished up 1625. We are into 1626. And it sounds like, is the plan to stay a bit longer to see how things shake up? So basically spend sea season here in Boldholm and in Sartar before deciding whether you want to leave.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, while I might personally quite like the idea of fighting a few idiots who think they can challenge me, I am Nisk's bodyguard, so what he says, I do.
No, Nisk asks your opinion. Every
Well,
person
then
has a right.
I think we should see what happens and then return home. But ultimately, you are Thane, and I am your man.
Nkala?
I kind of want to leave, but I can stay here as well.
Gina?
I'm not really big into cities, so.
They have a nice shrine here, but I'm like the wind. I can dance around, but a little bit of
But you can't get as
training-
much magic back at another spot.
No, I mean, at home, yes. If
In Israelia.
in Australia, or I mean, I have
Israelia's
my
a bit
little
far.
shrine in Pavis, of course.
You need to get supporter worshippers for you.
Yeah, then I should actually convince the ghosts here.
Here, or to go with you to Pav, or to go with you to Pavis.
Shall we take a lot of ghosts with us?
I don't know.
Why would
I don't know much about ghosts.
I'm getting an idea, though.
I get a weird story about what you guys did and the fact that you sent all these people and you had this line and you crossed, and I don't know any of that weird stuff.
How
You have to ask
about
Garen
do
about
that.
going
lines.
back with an army of ghosts? Yes, I need a little bit of time to get this army of ghosts together.
If you want to try to recruit some or something, that's certainly, and basically make your shrine better by getting some of the stuff. You probably need to talk to Beniva Chang, who you got
Big
support
Earth
to be able
Priestess.
to do the quest, and I
Yeah.
should talk to Leica.
So it sounds like you guys want to go to Kolimar lands for at least a while.
Why?
A while, because that's where they are normally.
Mm.
And several of the characters are members of the Kolimar tribe.
Yeah, but not me.
Well, you're not even a Sardarite, so.
Yeah.
Going out,
But
going
what I
out
would-
to the tribe sounds good, and I'm sorry, Jeff, for interrupting.
Oh, not a problem. But it sounds like, let us wrap up this season of the show here at the end of this year. And it sounds like moving forward, we're going to be moving into a different territory of dealing with tribes and Boldholm and returning back eventually to Argrath and Pavis. Does that
I
sound
only
good to everybody?
want to do only really want to do a season, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Unless things go.
And I do not want to
Huey.
travel actually when it's dark and
Yeah.
wet and
I mean,
so
yeah,
on.
the other thing is, other people could obviously be trained as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, we take advantage of it.
For instance,
Take advantage of the opportunity to do types of training. There's some skills that we can't learn otherwise. I could learn it. A
but
priest could teach me some.
For instance, Filchar could be trained as well. He would be more useful in
Correct.
combat. And
Correct.
and Zalun's son might actually first better learn some stuff from a pro than from Colbrath.
Now, and if I recall,
So,
you guys rented out a place for a lengthy period of time in Boldholm anyways.
No, we set up a big tent camp.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. You set it up a camp.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Morakanth tent.
We've got
You got that awesome Morakanth camp.
Yep.
we've got a pretty firm foothold.
So that's where we will start next session. We're going to start with things in the beginning of the year here in Boldholm in your big tent. But with this, let's wrap this up. Thank you all for an awesome session as always. I hope this is, and you guys are now fledgling heroes. So let's see how this all goes towards moving forward. So thank you all.